Okay, hi guys. Welcome to the Two Dogs.
And for once, we are on time. 5:31.
You know why? Because he came on time.
Always the guy, always the culprit.
All right. So I'm Dr. Inky.
And I'm Dr. Ellie.
And welcome to the Two Dogs. Now
Yes.
today we'll be speaking about something a little bit interesting. All right, we'll be talking about addiction.
What kind of addiction have you had?
Addiction. Yeah, addiction can be addicted to a lot of things. I'm addicted to things like I'm addicted to peanuts. So basically, when you put peanuts in front of me, I have to eat peanuts. So that's my addiction.
Yeah, and addiction. When we hear the word addiction, sometimes we have this pre-notion that it's usually bad. There's also good addiction.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, reading can be an addiction.
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, what it means is that when you're doing something doing more than the usual norm,
Yes.
and may or may not happen to a stage whereby you have a difficulty in controlling it, and therefore even something which is good could potentially be bad.
Yeah, it is.
For example, if someone loves to read but you become antisocial,
Yeah,
you know, you
that's true.
you neglect your duties on a daily basis.
That's right.
That's an addiction.
Yep. Too much of a good thing is not good for you.
Correct. So tell me, what brought about today's topic?
So today we'll be speaking particularly on drug addiction. And then with us we have a special guest, a very, very friendly, very, very handsome looking Mr. Omar Abdullah.
Yes.
Right. So Mr. Omar, can you please introduce yourself to our audience, what you do and
Sure.
why you're here?
Yes, thank you for inviting me. I'm very grateful, sincerely. You know, I'm very grateful for inviting me to come here and carry a little bit of message and a little bit of my story. You know, because my name is Omar, as you know, my name is Omar, and a lot of people know me as Abang Omar, you know,
Abang
not
Omar.
Uncle Omar.
Okay,
because now
Abang.
my children start putting me onto Uncle Omar. Normally I'm known as Abang
Abang
Omar,
Omar. Okay,
you know,
perfect.
mostly to addicts, you know. So my story is this way, you know, I have got roughly about 50 years of addiction experience, 50 years.
50.
50, all right?
Not 15.
No, not 15, sorry. 50 years of experience
Wait,
in
hold on.
dealing or taking or whichever way, 50 years of experience.
Oh, you're a young man. You look young.
Yeah. That's the grace of God that I have. There are lots of doctors and people who bring
You took drugs since 5 years old. Now you're 55, right?
Thank you. I wish so. But somewhere you are right. You know, when you get 5, you started going into addiction. I'll tell you in my story how it works out. You know, you are right somewhere. But anyway, I'm not 55. I'm what I am, and I'm very grateful. Right? Numbers are just to say, you know, just to remind you that I came this year here, and I'm product of 1945. That is it.
Wait, quick maths help.
I meant skoyak lah.
No, that's 75.
Yeah, 75. Yeah,
That's right. I'm a product of 1945.
Wow.
Yes. And sincerely, I'm very grateful to God, even in spite of 50 years of drug experience. This is how I look. So any addict anywhere who is looking for help, there is always a help. Life is a choice. But at times, you know, these choices are...
show everyone
you
how
know,
good you look at
Yeah,
75.
exactly.
Wow.
So
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit of your story. How do you get started into
in
the
drugs.
addiction?
Yes,
with drugs.
yes. See, I came from a good family, but we were quite poor. Some things happened to my father, and we were in a very bad place when I was growing up. You know, I was growing up, and my mother is the one who brought me up and gave me a lot of, you know, somewhere along she was trying to do the best, but it didn't work out somewhere the best. So now, you know, I was working roughly somewhere around after 26. You know, I had one dream, to make my parents happy, start working, doing things. And, you know, somewhere around when people never go to drugs, you know, that's the time I went to drugs. I started drugs at the age of somewhere around 25, 26. What happened is I started working for a company to sell cars. You know, I was selling Japanese cars. And I don't smoke cigarette. I don't drink. I'm a vegetarian. You know, and I had a brother. I started selling cars and I started doing well. Here comes my brother, tells me, "Hey, how come you are selling cars? You should take up cigarette and offer people. During 70s, cigarettes are very important.
Yes,
You
that's
do
right.
business. So my brother came around and said, how come you're not smoking cigarette? You buy, customers or... So I said, so what cigarette to take? He said, there is a new cigarette in town. It is called Rothman's 100.
Okay,
it is
Rothman's,
longer
yes.
than others. And I said, okay, get me one cigarette, man. And at somewhere around 25, I pick up my first cigarette. And I pick up and I do. And here comes a time every... who doesn't drink, doesn't eat, this, that. I told him not to worry, I will drink.
Okay.
I started drinking. And I pick up the first drink and I went back home. I was drunk and my mother said, this is no good. He said, don't worry, don't tell me what to do. And from there on, I started drinking. And I started drinking. And most of the time, those days, salesmen, they are very free people,
Yes.
We sell, at that time, you sell 3 car and above, you get your bonus, you get everything during early 70s.
Yes.
70, 71. So I'm doing well, I'm selling cars and all. So most of the time we are free. Gambling come in little bit. Woman came in little bit. Woman, gambling, and then came drink. We will start drinking at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We will end up at night 12 o'clock. But it looks very social because we are salesmen. Next morning we go to work and all that. Along the way I started drinking more often. And that's the time drug came to Malaysia, during 70s, early 70s. Before that there were drugs, but mostly ganja.
Okay. I understand.
But during early 70s, heroin came in.
This
Which
when all
even the
hard
police,
drugs came in. Hard drugs, yeah.
even the police or nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew. And one fine day, I knew the workers who were washing car and doing all those things, they were taking drugs. I'm working with a car firm. There are lots of boys down there. They take drugs. One fine day, my car got spoiled. I was in an accident and everything. I said, hey, come. You go and buy for me. He told me one thing, Abang, don't smoke this, this thing has got gyan, got withdrawal symptoms. I said, who are you talking to? Not me. You just go and buy, okay? Buy one for yourself and buy and give it to me. That's the first time I took my drug. And what happened is I slept for 2 days. When you take drug, first time heroin, it was so strong those days, pure opium based, vomited. And I slept for 2 days. All right? And I said, I won't touch anymore. But there was something inside there, It made me sleep so well.
I understood.
And I felt so good, I slept well, everything. And I promised myself I won't take. But some or other, after a few days, I said, no, I won't take every day. But once in a month, once in a month, nothing wrong. What is there? You see, as I told you, I started getting involved with women and more women and problems and all coming, all right? So now I started, maybe I took, instead of 1 month, 2 weeks once. And I always believed that I won't be an addict, all right? Then 1 week once. And I got graduated so fast now. Because when you drink, it takes hours and hours to put you where you want to be.
Yes.
When you take drug, it is instant, there you go, you took it and you had it and you are high. And so slowly but surely, I started taking every day. Every day, and slowly job gone.
Okay.
Slowly job gone, and I got graduated, tried my best. I don't want to be that addict, and I just don't want to smoke. Stayed in the house for a few days. Again, I went back to smoke, and I did everything what I could. And this from 1972, 73, I started it, keep on moving, job went off. Then I had a girlfriend, who was in love with me, and she was working. So I got kicked out from my job. My parents had to go through a lot of problems because I was a sole breadwinner also. Many things happened. And I was supported by my girlfriend at that time and a little bit here, there, and life went on. That went on for roughly about 7 years or something. I got married in 1979, September, I got married. You see, what happened is I'm reaching rock bottom, I cannot work. I cannot do anything, only my wife is working. Now, I've got nowhere to go. If I don't get married, then she is not more going to take care of me also. But she was a good woman, nothing is wrong. But that was in the early stage, was not my intention. But anyhow, I got married. And when I got married, you see, her parents also don't want daughter to get married to addict. And we had lots of problems. But what we thought, I get married and within 10 days I will get all right. I'll go for detox and everything, and my problem is gone. All right, so we got married. And when we got married, the first few days I told her, let me have a good time because I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up. So little extra, buy, smoke. And I went to institution. In Ipoh, Batu Gajah, and they had a program there. I stayed there for roughly about, at that time, 79. The price was somewhere around, you had to pay 2,000. Money was big at that time, you have to pay 2,000 and then you have to stay there for almost 1 year or something. It was a private one, run by a German guy. It used to run TC program, therapeutic community, where they will teach you how to get up, how to take a bath, keep your room clean. And I went there. Within about 3 to 4 weeks, I gained my confidence. And my mind told me I don't want to stay here, but they won't allow you to go out because there is a contract signed. But when my wife came to see me, they will also keep people, by the side so that you don't speak anything, that you are not supposed to speak. But anyhow, I was an addict. Some or other, I give all the signal to my wife, and my wife made a decision, I'm bringing him out. They told to my wife, please don't bring him out. You are doing the biggest mistake. If you bring him out, he's going to go back. She won't listen. At that time, it is not so much of exposure on addicts, or addicts don't come out. And that time it is a stigma. You are sampah masyarakat, The stigma was very bad during, up to just lately, it is just after WHO has said that addiction is a disease, and little bit it's getting better, but not that better. So she took me off, and I have got confidence now. Go home, do exercise. I don't want to smoke. Going around and telling other addicts, please give up. And then they say smoke. I said, no, not me. You better go for rehab and all. And then what happened is, I had a little bit of problem. Then again I went there. I said, just today you give me 1 or 2, Today I had little problem, little bit. And that starts another journey. Another journey, back again.
And that's with addiction. It's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Yes, vicious circle.
Yeah, it's a vicious
But
cycle.
I noticed when you talk about addiction, and you started with something very very interesting, because you started with social activities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being part of the job.
Being part of
Yes.
And I think that's what
wanted to be accepted as part of the group.
Yes,
And I
yes.
think that's a very common phenomenon that still goes on now, whereby when people join a new place of work, then you want to be part of the gang.
Yeah.
Part of the gang. Yes.
You want
Socially accepted.
socially accepted.
Yeah,
you
you're
want to,
socially accepted. You want to be part of the group.
be part of the group.
Yeah.
Yes,
You go
yes.
out, then if they drink and you are not really a drinker, you might take up one
Yes.
extra.
One.
Yes.
Next week it may be 1.5,
Yes.
and then it goes on. And after a while, somehow you might find the enjoyment, whether
Yes.
it's because of being accepted, or you genuinely enjoy whatever product that you're taking.
Yes.
Then it starts.
Yeah, then it starts, then the cycle
then you
starts.
evolve. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. When you say this, it is little different here and there. Today's world
Yeah.
and then.
Okay.
It is little different, and you're quite right. That sometimes to be accepted and all that. But today there is little bit of different. Let me go to my story back.
Okay.
So instead of 10 days, it lasted for 10 years. 10 years. of my marriage, I had 3 kids who were born when I'm drug addict. You know, they were all born. I've been to prison once for 1 year, Pudu prison. I've been to lock up 4 times. I've slept on the roadside. You know, but I didn't know what to do. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. But when the time comes, I will go for it. I will beg. So much so, after certain time, I had a stepdaughter also with my wife, you know. She used to tell my wife, you know, let him smoke, like he's an addict. You know, she used to say that, you know. And so it became a norm. I will take from my wife, take. But as time goes by, things get expensive, short of money, and I have 3 kids. This is where the problem started coming in. You know, now you have 3 kids, wife got maximum, you know, one off already. Now how to do, what to do, everyday quarrel. And I didn't know what to do. So once, you know, after some time I really, and before this, I went so many times to give up my drug, you know. I used to go Malacca, Pulau Besar. There is a place called Pulau Besar. My wife will leave me in the island. She'll come back to KL. So I cannot come out from the island. I will stay there. I'll be vomiting. All this one, you cannot sleep, purging. So much of pain. You know, those days the drugs were very strong. And you can't go and see a doctor. I used to lie to a doctors many times. You know, that I got stomach pain, night cannot sleep, this, they will give me some Valium to sleep. Okay, but I never tell truth because it is a stigma. It is not like today, like people like me come and talk and you are sitting with me and listening my story. Those days it was not like that. Sampa masyarakat. So you can't even go and tell anybody the truth that I have this problem. And every time I have to lie, you know, are you smoking? No. Sometimes people know I'll get angry. Wife have to do all the lying. And now, you know, as time goes by, I am hitting my rock bottom, you know. But I didn't know at that time that I'm reaching a rock bottom. You see, now comes a time, if I smoke, I have problem. And if I don't smoke, I have a problem. Now I came to a place where I can't take anything. To die is better. If there is a way to die, I want to. Because I cannot do anything. I want to give up. My body goes against me. My mind goes against me. I can't sleep. I can't move. I've lost my, you know, whatever I had. You see, in my addiction, I had a car. I always buy cash car. When I sold, take another car. Under high purchase, after that, put that there, come back without a car. You know, everything was gone. Nothing. Rock bottom. The wife was working and running. You know, so I've reached to the place and age was catching up. Now, I passed almost 17 over years of addiction. 17 years. All right? I started somewhere around in 1971, 72, full blown, maybe in 73. Now came 80. 70 years of addiction. And I'm reaching to a place where I just cannot take either side. And then, you know, I decided to stay in the house. When I said I went to Pulau Besar, every time I come back, I see Maybank, say I want to take the last one. Before I go home, in Malay they say rindu, you know, rindu sikit. Take one.
Some people say one for the road, yours is
one
to come home.
Correct, exactly, you know. And I will do that and I will be back again. When I was in prison, when I came out, my wife said, don't touch anything, but drink stout, that is good for health. The one, okay, no problem. All right, so I came out from prison, they gave me a salary of 6 ringgit or 7 ringgit, like, you know, few cents first time I straight went to prison opposite coffee shop, bought one Guinness stout, cold one and drink. My wife came and picked me up, went to a supermarket, another 6 can in the house. What happened is, by the time the 6 can finished, my mind told me, I want to go and smoke once. Why my mind told me? Because alcohol is not my choice. Alcohol is not my drug. Heroin is my drug. You know, sometimes people ask me, Omar, what is the difference between an alcoholic and a drug addict? You cannot be both. You're only one. Either you're alcoholic or you're a drug addict. You cannot be both. Because when it comes to any substance, it is a choice. What you enjoy. You have craving. Whatever you take, you have craving. The people who don't take drug, they will look at drug addict and say, what, stupid, like you drink. No? Because when you drink, you are not offending anybody. It's a choice. You go to a coffee shop, you buy and come. So they are one step above. When it comes to drug, you have to do everything, like escape from police, where to go and buy, where to go and get. That's why drug is easier to give up than alcohol. Alcohol is easier to give up than cigarette. You see? Because what you get socially, it's hard to give up. What you don't get socially, if there is a chance, it is easier to give it up.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Because nobody is accepting you. You reach a fast rock bottom.
Yep.
If you are lucky, you come out of it.
Yeah.
So now I've reached to a place where I can't accept, and then I started staying in the house, 1-2 weeks, and but I knew this time, that if I go out, I will go and smoke. I stay in the house, I'm getting boring. Either way, I'm stuck, and I've reached rock bottom. Nothing works. And then me and my wife decided that we go and look for help. So that is where I went and looked for the same German guy, which I went to an institution and tell him that I would like to go to your center for 3 months. He said, no addict get all right in 3 months. All right? If you're going in, I can give you minimum at least 1 year, or otherwise 2 years. You have to be there. You like it, you don't like it. We can't take you. We can't break the rules. And then eventually me and my wife talked to him, and I talked to him. He said, is it true that for 2 weeks he don't smoke? I said, yes. He said, and he's also matured a bit, 45 now, Normally 45 people don't give up. They say, take and die. But I was the lucky one, So he said, okay, you come on Monday night. There are few addicts meeting here. That is where I went on a Monday night, and I found few people. They had a meeting going on, AA meeting, Alcoholics Anonymous, which is based on 12 step, came from America, from Ohio, by 2 guys, one Dr. Bob and Bill Wilson, who wrote these 12 steps. They were themselves alcoholics and addicts. And I went to this program, and they were reading the steps, First time in my life, nobody called me you're stupid. Nobody told me you're addict. Nobody, anything. They hug me and they say it's nothing wrong with you, you have a disease. First time I felt at home after 17, 20 years of smoking, and everywhere you get, misfire, fire, thrown, whatever it is. Like the minute people see you, people are coming, please close your doors. It's the first time I saw people, who were clean and sitting down and sharing, and I saw the steps. From that day something changed in my life. I found a hope now. That there is a hope now, that there are people like me and they are clean. And everybody looked at me as another human being who is suffering from a disease. You see, that's made a lot of difference. And in between, I like to jump a little bit. Is it okay instead of my story?
Please do.
Please do. And once you have one addict in a family, the whole family has got a disease. You know what? It is the same disease. The family say you don't take drug, and the addict says he can't give up drug. Topic always in the family will be drug, and the whole family. And being like country like Malaysia or Asian countries, but now they are improving. You see, the family will never look for help.
Yeah.
Now, if you make an addict all right and send back to the family is the same.
True.
You see, the family hasn't changed. The guy who came, he has changed.
Yes.
And on this, I have a story, about a small boy who slept with a chicken, in a box. And whenever the chicken comes in, he gets frightened, and he grew up, and he always No matter what you do, he's frightened. One day, some psychologists and all came and took him and brought him somewhere. They cut a chicken. They teach him how to cut a chicken. And then, tell him you can eat chicken. And so the boy got ready at their place. When they brought back home, the minute the chicken ran, the fellow went back the same place. You know why? He said, this chicken didn't know that I'm being rehabilitated.
It's a different chicken.
I mean, addicts are just like that. And another place I look at addict as what, I hope you don't mind. I'm going little
No,
make it a bit more
please do.
interesting.
Yeah,
Make
yeah,
it
it
more
is.
interesting.
I've got new jokes now, thanks to you.
Yeah, that's a story for me to tell now. The boy and the chicken.
Addicts are just like, in Africa now they rehabilitate the wild animal, the lion,
Yes.
the things all, When they want
them
to
in the
put
wild.
them in the wild, they just straight cannot put them in the wild.
Yeah.
They train them, with a truck, putting some
Yes.
meat, you
Yeah.
chase it, you
Yeah.
chase it till they really learn it,
Yep.
then they put him on the wild.
Yep.
You can take addicts like that. That is what an addict is. Now you see almost 90% of addicts go back relapse. There are two things. I don't blame the society or the family, even the addict. Now, addict is not doing a right thing. So do the people outside who are not doing right thing. The family is not doing right. You see, as I said, one addict in a family, the whole family is screwed up. Whole family, because the topic is only one. Family will be quarreling. The father will be telling the fly pity him. The brother will say, why should I? He has taken everything. So the whole family get messed up. And I've known many cases. I've known one of the lady, two sons both died. Family get quarrel. Addiction is such a cunning enemy of life, And if you don't treat it correctly, it will take you and destroy your whole family. That is what addiction is. Like just now you were telling, you like this and little addiction. Those are different addiction.
Yes.
Yep.
When we come to hard drugs, you are smoking against your will. I promise myself tonight, this is my last smoke. No more. I make everything. I go and pray. I put everything right. No more. Next morning, on the next day, I will go for it. I have two things with me. One, my body go against me. Second, my mind doesn't know how to do anything else except that craving. Because when I take this, I feel better. You see, when I take that, I feel better. And when it comes to heroin addict, it has got two problems, not dopamine problem, but also your body, every part of your body go against you. Not that enough. The society go against you, the stigma go against you. So it's not that easy as we think, So if you don't have a good program, you can't do it. There is no way. You see, once an addict, he's addict forever, for your information. Only thing, I have arrested my disease, I have not cured my disease. So I must know what to do and what not to do. How do I keep this? You see, that's why we need a program. You see, I am attending meeting for 30 years. As I said, I smoked for 17 over years. And I attend meetings for 30 over years. The reason is because this disease is like that. It has got nothing to do with the drug. It is mental, physical and spiritual. You see, what happens is, if anybody gives any rehabilitation to an addict, you remove his drug and you put outside, you are putting at the same place where he started the drug. You see, you remove the drug.
Yeah, because that's only physical.
Yes,
Yes.
You remove it.
You remove
Now
it.
he's standing
Yeah.
at the place when he first time started drug.
The Maybank.
The Maybank. And many other banks. So he starts there. That's where you need a program that makes sense. And when my days we didn't have NA in Malaysia. Now we have it. We have made NA in Malaysia. We have translated book and all that. Earlier days, I used to have, being a Muslim, you tell anybody, they say this program came from West. But now we have in every country, Middle East country, we have meetings. We have about 33,000 meetings a week around the world. You go anywhere, you will find meetings. So now I went to a program which is called a 12-step program. This program is all on me. In this program, they asked me to take a sponsor,
Yes.
Sponsor not for money, not for anything. It's for your recovery. And he will be always there, that when you appoint him, he will come, and whatever you ask him, he will answer. If he doesn't know, he will ask me to see somebody. And then I had a sponsor, and when I went to this program, something that really touched me, you know what? One, I'm not an addict by choice, it happened.
Yes.
Now, all right? There is no blame on my side anymore, and I understood, that I should forgive me. Whatever people say, all that, I'm not choice. Now, but what must I do? And that is where this 12-step had helped me. I said earlier, if you don't give a program, remove the drug, he's standing at the place where he started. Now, lots of addicts lots of people think that you give up drug and your problems are over, Of course, when I took drug, I created so much of extra problem. All right? So much so I forgot that why I start. All right? So I'm always thinking, focusing on, I give up the drug. Because of drug, I had a lot of problem. Okay, I work here. But what happened is only this. But why did I start a drug? Now that is more important than I give up the drug at this moment. See, that is where this 12-step works specific on your life, on my life. Like the step 1 said, I'm powerless. And when I said powerless that means I have got no control over taking drugs. Now how do I stop drugs, man? If I don't have a control, then how do I stop? Now that is where the catch is. There are simple things in the program. And this program only works if you reach rock bottom.
So it doesn't work when you're not at rock bottom.
Whereby
No. If you still have your self-will, that means you are telling people, I'm not addict, I'm smoking sometime. What is wrong if I take? So what?
Understood.
So one must reach a point whereby they literally feels, I can't.
No, I don't know
I
what
don't know
I got no
what's
choice.
happened to me.
It means for them, they have no other choice but to go through the program.
No, go to the program or let it go of your life.
Yes.
Let it go. Let's die. Which I tried. I didn't have guts, to show my wife I don't want to live. They go and buy jab, try to overdose all, but I didn't have that guts. Of course I didn't want to live. And I also wanted to live, but I don't have that guts to die myself. I went to a building, they want to jump down. I don't have the guts. You see, I don't have the guts. But when I went to the program, so now I can't. He can, and let him. There is a meaning in this program. That means you can't do it. Come to believe in God and let him do it. Now you have a sponsor, you have a program, you have an understanding. And the best part of the program is they will tell you, don't worry about tomorrow, do it just for today.
Just take it one step at a time.
Yes, just for today. You got clean, you ring up to your sponsor and you tell him, I'm clean today. I chose a sponsor who was 10 years younger than me, and 4-letter word was his national anthem.
I'm sure it was good. good.
Yeah, otherwise they couldn't get me.
How are you?
I'm
Omar? Good. Oh, the 4-letter words came out.
Yeah. That was his national anthem. And sometimes we go to coffee shop. I didn't have any money, and those days there was a minibus. I go to Raja Chulan for meeting, and I'll go with the minibus, that your head goes like that in the minibus. You all haven't seen that.
Oh God, it's the pink color, yellow color.
No, the earlier one. The
The
earlier one. The pink color is already roof went up.
Oh, this okay.
Earlier, like that, you go, you have to make it straight and go for the meeting. You pay 50 cents and then you come back. 50 cents and, So after the meeting, they might go meeting after the meeting, coffee shop and all. If my sponsor was happy that kasih dia satu roti canai, satute lah. So give it to me because I don't have anything with me, man. And when he's bad mood, he says, can you go back? We are self-supporting. We don't take from anybody. We have taken enough. Get out, go home. You know. And he was 10 years younger than me. But reaching the rock bottom, that is why it's so important. Otherwise, you don't listen.
True.
Why should you listen when you can run your life?
True.
You will only listen when you come.
All the way down.
Yes, you come to a wall, you know, that you can't move. So in this program, we had a sponsor, and it is a disease concept and no cure. You arrest the disease. You see, why do you have so many relapse? Every now and then relapse, wherever you yell, he cannot get all right. He can, of course. Because some people believe, some people don't believe it. But if you ask me, if I became an addict, I've already tasted it. I already know everything. How is it for me to give up? At some point of time, it makes me good feeling. You see, all I have to do is, sometimes life gives, you know, it sucks. You have pain. And you know, at once upon a time that I took and I got better, you know, forget everything. That is why it is a disease, a regular meeting, speaking to sponsor and doing. Now, when I said you have to go to God, God cannot work for you for lifetime. You see, the program is so structured that you do your job, let God do His job. You see? Why did I say this is, you see, at the beginning when I went there, it's a spiritual program. So they told me, this is the problem, this is what you have to do, and this is your decision. Come to belief and let it go, let Him handle a day at a time. As little bit time pass by, then they tell you to take your moral inventory because you have made so much of damage. If you don't look at yourself, how could I sit down and talk to you now?
What's a moral inventory?
Say, moral inventory.
Yeah.
You see, always when you're on the wrong side of the road, you'll be always taking inventory of all your bad things. You have put yourself so low that you're not looking any good things about you. You don't feel. When we say moral, that means you are taking both. You have good things with you and you have bad things with you. You see, you have two items with you, and you have to take this moral inventory and speak to your sponsor. Because if you have taken 20 years of drugs, you don't even know what is right or what is wrong.
Could you give us an example? Assuming I'm your sponsor, how will you tell me about the moral inventory? Let's
No,
say-
I will tell. You see, I gave up drug. If you have smoked like me for so many years,
Yeah.
just imagine the amount of problem you have done.
Okay.
All right, the damage. I lost my job. I don't have bank balance. Every day I'm fighting in the house for my wife. Give me 10 ringgit, 10 ringgit. I owe people money. The stigma, people looking at me. No car, I'm walking on the roadside. I'm so thin, so horrible looking fella. You know, everything has gone. How much pain I'm carrying for all this thing. And how much pain is it? So when you take moral inventory that whatever you have done wrong to people, place or cheat or whatever, and what are your good qualities all, because when you are addict, you have lost your senses, you don't even know what is right or what is wrong, you just write down. And you sit down with a sponsor.
Okay.
And then you tell him that this is what so many years I did this to my wife, I did this. Then he will turn around and tell you, I too did this. You know, and how to go out of this. You see, after taking moral inventory, he will tell you, just sit down, pray to God to give you the strength to face this thing. You see, you have to face it, what you have done. If you don't do it, then you are standing at the same place, first place you went for drugs. Because you can't deal with life. Not, you see, I have few friends took drugs together, but all didn't become addict. Out of the 2 became addict, the 3 is okay. You see, you got to have something inside you that is not working well. No, you see, once you are in the drug, you are not drug addict by choice. You are in, there is no door out. Once you started taking daily, there is no door out. Only the lucky ones like me, you know, who is willing. All I did is I kept an open mind and listened to people. Then people start giving me.
Yeah.
And that is what I have. And today I start giving it to people. That's how we work.
Yeah.
You see? And it is free. The program is free. You don't have to pay 1 cent. You
For,
don't.
for our listeners out there, this is known as
Narcotics
Narcotics
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
You can go NA Malaysia, you know.
NA
Malaysia.my.
So currently the meetings are still ongoing.
Oh yes, in
Still
Malaysia,
ongoing
yes,
Malaysia.
yes. And nowadays we have a lot of Zoom meeting, international, around the world. You sit down,
fantastic.
Zoom meetings.
Perfect.
Yes, they have. You see.
Yeah, so for again our listeners, this is a program whereby you could fight narcotics addiction
Addiction, yeah.
through the program that's known as Narcotics Anonymous or NA
Yes.
Malaysia.
NA Malaysia.
Yes. So again, it's taken not loosely. It's taken from. It's adapted from the program
AA.
of AA,
Yeah, from the
Alcoholic
Alcoholic
Anonymous,
program.
which
And it is
very
international, worldwide, and it's free.
famous. Do they do the same thing as AA, whereby someone stands
Of course, same. They are
in,
same.
in even the introduction.
Yes. You see, if you're in, I got clean in A, then only we
there you
started in
Ah.
A. All right, when we go to A, we said, my name is Omar and I'm alcoholic.
Yes.
All right.
It's famous. So a lot of us would have seen on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movies.
you
Yes,
watch
of
movies.
course. No, it's famous. You know, it's in Malaysia, we are not getting it. What is the reason? I don't know, and I don't want to say it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But in many part of the world, if there is any addict who has done a petty stealing or shoplifting or anything, they will tell them, I don't have to put you in prison. You go 90 meetings, 90 days and get their signature and you're out.
You have the coin system also, right?
Yeah, no, when the court, in many countries now, the court will say you go to NA because they know today that people change, man.
Yeah.
So it means instead of putting you
In
behind
the
bars,
past,
they put
send
you
you
they
to the
send you for the
meetings. They don't put you in. They say
Yeah.
you go to meetings and bring the thing 90 days, okay, then you are discharged.
Okay.
Whether you go, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. But at least they are introducing to a place which works
Yes.
and it doesn't cost money.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And nobody is telling you anything.
Correct.
You see, but here we haven't reached to that place yet.
Correct. Because in a way, going to places like Serenity, you
Yeah.
come out, people still label you as the addict who came out.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you went to Serenity.
Yeah, but if you go to a anonymous meeting,
Yeah.
they say you are
You
an
are
addict who's trying to
change.
come back.
Yeah.
Well, when you talk about that concept, it is a bit different. Nah. You know, if you're addict, you have a stigma. But today you don't have a stigma, you know, because most of the addicts are today good as you all are. They are upper class. Their drugs of choice have changed.
Yes.
Today the world has changed, you know. The drugs comes, you don't have to go. You just want like that, it is sent it to your house. The world has changed today, and my days are a little different. Nah.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, today is all upper class. My days,
Yes.
it was all down.
Yep.
You see, but the real truth is addiction.
Correct. Still an addiction.
And yes, still an addiction, you know. The problem is still. So I told you about recovery, a program, all right? And now, what makes a person addict?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the most
You
important
see-
question.
That's what makes
You
someone-
see now, today's world, for me, I consider dog eat dog. The reason why I say this is, the minute anybody who gets married, all they know is how much you are making and how much you are making. When we will have a kid, we have got a planning, but the kid will go to the nursing home.
Yes.
Husband is working, wife is working.
Yep.
Everybody is working. Everybody is staying at the same address. You know, it's a unit now. Even from down to up nowadays, what's coming down for food.
True.
Today the world has changed, you know. More problems there are today
Yeah.
than before.
Yes.
But today the problems are all hidden, you know, because it is little upper. The lower one, they are suffering. Whatever suffering they can't do. But the top, you see nowadays when come to love, you know, another addiction which I see it today when I sit in a coffee shop. 2 years old kids sitting with a phone, you know. All right. What is addiction? You ask me now, I tell you. No? The minute you remove that, the fly is jumping down there. Parents will say, "Okay, give it." That's addiction. That is addiction. That is coming. That is coming.
No, it's
in
here.
some countries, they start seeing it.
Yep.
You know, and there are lots of young people today can't even communicate
That's
because everything is like
Yes,
this.
to the phone, yep.
Now
Yeah,
that's
I've seen couples, you know, when they go
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
all kids, all three,
Everyone-
four, all.
No, just pre-marriage. So they're going out, they're holding hands, and the girl's got a flower, the guy's got a shopping bag. They sit down, they stare into each other's eyes, everything. They open the menu, they put down the menu after the order. Then for the rest of the night, they're just on the
playing the
phone, and they're laughing by themselves.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
it's-
today. Yes.
That's an
You know,
addiction.
so for me, what I believe is, you know, things have to change. We are going so fast on the wrong side of the road. You know, there are lots of people, you are lucky you don't take anything and you don't have this type of problem, but lots of people, what you see is not what you are seeing. You know, so that's addiction. Once you are in, they left no choice.
All right.
No choice left. Even now in many houses where the phone, the kid, you can't take it from him, the phone, no? You can't. Try and see. The only phone time the phone is out is they're sleeping.
True. So, coming back earlier, you mentioned that addiction, this particular drug addiction, can't be cured. It can only be arrested, kept aside.
Yes.
Over the period of the last 30 years, have it ever crossed your mind that I want to go back? I want to go in.
But I'm
Try it
one
again.
lucky one. I'm one lucky one. Why I tell you this is because I got so much into the program. Because I was beaten so hard. I had no choice, rock bottom.
Yes.
And when I went in, it looks like somebody introduced me to God. And I felt for the program till today. You can give me any other program, I can talk for you. But I don't know. I only believe in one program. You see, the last two steps of the program is what, you know? Through meditation and prayer. No? Every day we do and we talk, all right? And step 10 says, take daily inventory of yourself. If you have hurt anyone, ring up and say sorry. Don't create any more problem, all right? And the last step says, if you want to keep what you have, in order to keep, you must learn how to give. So I'm working with addicts for so many years. I have many sponsors with me. You know, they give a call, they have problem, whatever they have, they use the phone, they give me a call. So it is not their benefiting. It is me giving and collecting.
True.
Whatever I talk to you, you get it or not, I'm not sure. But whatever I'm talking to you, I'm reinforcing myself.
That's right.
You see, that's why there is a catch, you know. It only after some time I came to know. Taking is not taking. Giving is taking.
Yes, that's
If
right.
you don't learn how to give, you will never keep anything. And you can only give people what you have. You can't give people what you don't have.
Yeah, it's true.
You see?
Very true.
So these are the little things that make life better. You see, today I'm happy, I don't need one. You see, I gave up cigarette. When I gave up cigarette, I went back home. I gave up, as I told you earlier, I gave up in 1990 on a Friday 16 at 6:30 at Jalan Ampang. I threw the packet. And when I went back home, my wife smoked cigarette. My wife was a cigarette smoker. My wife gave up. After 4 years, I gave up. And this is addict, you know, who gave up cigarette. I didn't pick up. My wife passed away, all right, 7 years ago. I had lots of problems here and there. Like she passed away. But I didn't pick up a cigarette. I didn't pick up a drink. Here I am. What made me? I was that addict, who couldn't live one day without drugs. So you see, the way I think, the way I look, the things that I do, it is stopping me to go to anywhere else because I'm happy. My life became my choice today. I get up this morning, I had a choice where I want to go, who I want to see, what I want to do. You see, if you don't have this, and if you're addict, only place you know is where to go and take, where to go and smoke. You see, addicts are like what? You know, the migratory bird, you know. In winter, they know how to fly, but they don't have a brain. Addicts are just like that. When morning get up, where is the money? Where to go and buy? Where to go and smoke and sleep? Yes, sometimes people ask me about willpower. Addict has no willpower over his addiction. They have lost it. Nothing to do with willpower. I got all right. It is a power. I got it from outside. I became willing. I reached rock bottom. I kept an open mind. People willing to give me, I started taking, and this is what I am. You can't do it on your own. Addict alone is in a bad company. You know, till today, my associates are lots of addicts everywhere. You see? And you cannot leave an addict without a program. Now, I said, you know, one of those things with addict, what happened? When I get better, and if my wife doesn't get better, it doesn't work. Either it get divorced. Many addicts who change, the family will break because the mindset, one side have changed, the other side didn't change. All right? So that's why if you have one addict in a family, everybody needs a program. Otherwise, you cannot deal with the addict.
Then how does the family, and then is there a special program for the family?
Yes, they do have, but right now it's not so strong in Malaysia. lah. But in many countries, they have got Al-Anon and Nar-Anon, you know. That is for people who stay with addicts, you know. You see, the people who stay with addict, actually they are suffering little extra than the addict, you know. You know why? They are conscious and they are looking at other people's pain and taking into them. And you know how much pain and resentment is there. And once the addict get all right and come, he started asking his pence back. That I'm going to do what I'm going to do. They will say, what the hell? You know, you are not working, I feed you this. Today you're telling me what to do. You see, the whole thing, the whole system of a family has gone bizarre. Now, if you don't repair the whole thing, either it breaks or otherwise the addict goes back to drug.
Yes. Yeah.
There is no third choice down there. There is no third choice.
You know, this is very similar to what we spoke with Andreas last week.
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
When we were speaking to Andreas Don, so he does a lot of NLP, a lot of counseling, and in a very similar concept. That time we were talking about how parents who wanted their kids to be better and try to bring them for counseling. But Andreas said it's actually even the parents need counseling.
Yes.
Because if fixing one so-called problem does not fix everything, the whole unit must go in.
Exactly.
We were exposed to that this last week, and this week is like a reminder through you, and we see how powerful it is.
Yes.
And I think maybe sometimes I would say even myself, guilty as a doctor, when I see patients who have certain kind of addiction or addictive behavior, or even families who have the same problem, even myself if I have that, we always look at the addiction as the person's problem only. We try to fix it, but we don't fix the whole system. We don't fix the perception. I'll tell you a very interesting real story. Sorry, we're going to digress a bit out of the drugs.
Okay.
So this was a friend of mine. The daughter is overweight. So the daughter has sort of like, we can say, some addiction to food addiction, and also a sedentary life. Her addiction is just to kick back, lay back, and just relax. Whereas the mother and the other siblings are more active and more conscious about the diet. She tries to change, but as she's trying to change, the mother puts her down, like really puts her down. She did a food diary. Fair enough. You're trying your best. You're doing a food diary, and I told her we'll do it step by step. We'll do a food diary. We don't do anything else. So I just need you to chart what you eat every day. Out of 7 days, she charts 4. For me, that's good because it's not easy to chart a food diary.
Yeah.
So she charted 4 out of 7, and for me it was amazing because I usually do this with other patients and they can only do 1 or 2 days, then they quit. Then they come back, you talk to them, then they do another 2 or 3 days. She did 4 out of 7 for 2 weeks, so she had 8 days out of 14.
Yes.
For me, it was amazing. But the mom, my friend, was very critical. He just went, see, even this you can't do. That's why you will never get smaller. So, resonating with what we're saying, you're right. If we don't look at the overall perception and change the way everyone starts behaving with one another, it's just going to be a negative reinforcement that either breaks the person or continue breaking the family.
Exactly. You see, that is why either you look for professional help, speak to someone. You can't do it on your own. Any addiction, to do it on your own, first place it won't happen. If you can do it, it won't happen. It won't be a big problem like what we face today.
Very
You see?
true. Very true.
So it's not that way. Like you got to look for help, and everybody is involved. Like I used to go on TV before time ago, and then the mother will ring up and say, "My son was okay, but he went and mixed with the other guy. He started taking." I told the mother, in another 10 minutes, maybe that mother is going to give me a call and say, "My son was all right. He went and mixed with this son." The question is, whatever happened, why I said you have to change the whole family. An addict is not produced in a market, Market supports the addict
Yes.
to go where he wants
Yes.
to go. The one who produces an addict is a family.
Yes.
I speak the same language, I eat like them, I look like them, I do everything like them. Why is it I took one habit from outside? Sometimes they said, that outside influence. Yes, outside make the progress bit easy where he wants to go because it's availability, of drugs and whatever. But every addict is made in a house, not outside.
That's
If
That's a very heavy accusation for,
Yes.
for
Parents.
people for parents.
Yes,
How
yes.
would you justify that, Uncle Omar? Why would you say
I want to tell you, how is it I'm eating the food what you like, whatever you taught me, I'm following everything. Why is it I'm doing one thing that even you don't like, I know it you don't like, and I still go and do it? How was I born that way? When everything, my character, you have given me. Why is it this habit I got it from outside? There must be some defect inside here that caused me to go and look something outside. You see, that is why if the family don't change and don't take the responsibility putting on the addict alone, please live with it.
Could you give us your example?
Yes. You see, I had a mother who went through lots of problems, and from very young age, she told me the sad story, and I wanted to grow up and take a revenge, That means I didn't grow correctly, I grew up with vengeance, that let me have this time, one day I'm going to fix this uncle, I'm going to fix these people, and I'm going to do this. Well, the thoughts are very good, because they did what to my parents,
Yes.
but that is not how we are supposed to live. We are not supposed to live that way. What happened, it was a situation then. But what she was talking, she was innocent. She didn't know anything, you see. At that time of time, she didn't know. But you see, whatever happened in life, it has something to do what happened into your life. Everything that happens to you, 95% you behave like your parents, man. As time goes by. And then you pick up little bit from something from outside. You can't get anything from bad habit or whatever simply from outside. Unless there were things that is happening into your life, right timing, right place, so happened drugs was available. Alright? So it happened that way. It cannot be. Outside influence is just helping you to push you a little bit, a pusher. Good, like I have few friends, they won't go in touch. They won't go in touch. Why is it I went in touch? So the disease is all in a family. When they say genetic, nowadays sometimes they use this,
They want to blame the genetics.
Okay.
You were born like that. You were not part of us.
No, they are now saying that people who are addicts have a higher, they were born with a higher susceptibility to be addicted.
All right.
Right. So that's why they are saying this is actually partially genetic now.
Okay. I can very much agree and don't agree. Both. I have it there. I tell you one thing. Of course, genetically, everything is given to me by my parents. What's wrong? I eat the same food.
Yes.
The same type of thoughts, the same everything. So it's genetic. All right. So you can blame whatever you want, but I can change. I can change. The same genetic. Yeah, I am different. So whatever you want to say, you can find an excuse. You can find an excuse. So for me, it's a lifestyle, and today everybody thinks that money can make me happy. But when you don't have, You get little, it makes you happy. When you over have it, it never brings you happiness. It will bring you more problem than your happiness. You know, anything. If you don't know how to stop at certain time, it is going to be a burden to you. So I believe that live with spirituality. You know, believe that you are not here forever.
Yep.
You are not here forever. You know, and love people. You are not here forever. So if you don't count your blessing, or you are not grateful for the things that happen to you, so you have to be ungrateful. And for ungrateful, you have to do everything what ungrateful has to do. And when you are grateful, your lifestyle change, you know. You're not angry. You're not running for anything. Any wrong doesn't hurt you so much. You will feel it and you will say that's the way it is. So parents, instead of money and education, had to give little bit of concern. Son, life is a gift. You are enjoying everything because you got up this morning. You are not enjoying everything because you have it. If he was dead today, he won't be enjoying what you have.
Of course.
He got up this morning, so he's going to enjoy what is there, you know. So people got to have some spiritual values in life, you know, to live a good life. Now I'm talking about away from addiction, to live, because at times life sucks, you know, it gives you pain, looking at things, this, that, or whatever, you know. But if you don't have any good friend, everybody should have one good friend, a spiritual friend where you can sit down, who is not judgmental, you can talk to him and he gives you the good, you know. He doesn't give you what you like to hear. He is giving you what you should hear. You see, that makes a lot of difference. Everybody should have somebody that they can trust, and the guy they have it is trustworthy. So that half of your pain is gone. You know, to get up this morning is a privilege. I got up. That's why you asked me, how are you doing? I said, I'm living without complaint. Thank you.
and to all my friends who are listening in, so whenever I'm very harsh with my words, because I love you.
They always say, you know, the true friends give it to you.
They
really give it to you.
Yeah.
You know, they don't sugarcoat it. They tell you what needs to be told. They tell you what needs to be told.
Yes, correct.
To put into a bit of easy to digest perspective, Uncle, I'm going to give a scenario about this because I want to go back to the part where you're saying that addiction could stem from family. I'm just going to give a very general thing. It may not relate to what you've been through, but just to see whether do you agree with this thought process. So we say that addiction starts from family, and sometimes it's hard to gel. How? You know, my parents are good people. How? So maybe I give example. A father who beats the red light consistently. It's not a conscious addiction, but he just wants to beat the yellow light before it turns red all the time. Sometimes it turns red and he's still going through. Then the kid tells the father, Papa, it's wrong. He says, I know, but I went through when it was yellow. He justifies, and he does it over and over. And the child will then see it as it's okay to do wrong.
Yes.
Same thing as, let's say, swearing. So, you know, let's say they watch a football match and they miss a goal, and the father just goes, shit.
The national anthem, basically.
The four-letter
the four-letter comes out. Okay.
So then the kid will still say, Papa, it's not a good word. And he say, yeah.
Okay.
And does it consistently, because, you know, there's 38 EPL matches in the year. Would that then form as a recurrent basis whereby the child would say, that's not right, but yet it's being done and it's okay. So, and it seems that, you know, they do it very consistently. Hence, when they do pick up another habit, and as you said, it just so happened it was cigarettes or drugs or whatever it was. Then that justification process also comes in because it has already been formed in the childhood. Would that Really?
You know what will happen? There are two things will happen now in the family. You see, if headache or anything in the house or this type of thing, if the children are growing and some part, maybe the mother don't agree and the son don't agree, they will become total opposite, of the father. When the time comes, they will even fix the father. They grow up a bit, the father becomes down, the son goes up. They'll fix. Or there won't be a middle path.
Okay.
Either you're total opposite or you're
same.
But you won't get the middle part because you haven't done your job well. You didn't give it to them well. You see, every time a kid had to tell his father, don't do, he grew up to be the total opposite side of the road, not liking what he did. Wrong things, you like it or not, what you have put it in, someday you have to face it.
Yep.
You can't plant an apple tree and ask for orange juice.
Yep.
If you squeeze the orange juice, you will only get orange juice.
Correct.
Where do you get whatever you are doing? You get it from that orange juice. You won't come out anything else. You can squeeze whichever way you want. The thing you'll get is orange juice.
Correct. You only reap what you sow.
Yes, exactly.
So in a family with the father being an addict,
yeah.
will the children, do they have a higher percentage of getting into any addiction when they're older?
I just want to say it depends on which place you are and what time you got it better.
Okay.
I also have children. At many times it is difficult to handle. It is difficult to handle. But I'm very grateful none of my children has gone into drugs. None of them. But it is not easy to handle because the things what I did, they like it, don't like it, they don't have a program. But deep inside they have something what I did before. Now they also, as they grow up, they will learn how to deal. But it is not easy. Wait till their children grow up, they will understand sometime. But today my job as a father is to take whatever it comes. It's my duty. Because today I understand that what I have done, squeeze an orange, you get orange juice. What I've done, I got to pay somewhere a price. Nothing wrong with them. That's why I can forgive or do whatever, it's okay. You see, it's not easy. Life is a journey. And that's why I say you need one good friend, that he talks to you, not to instigate you, not to fix you, just to get you out to a better place, not to tell you what to do also. And it's important. Today's life, it hurts every corner. Traffic jam also.
Well, traffic jam is part of life.
So many things. 4-letter word is national anthem.
That's true.
So to all our listeners and viewers, it's important. The family unit is very important. If you decide to go into that path of starting your own family, then, or even if you don't have your own family, but you're with relatives, with young kids, we all serve in a way to be a role model and to minimize any form of negativity that can form some kind of habit.
Yes.
And habits become cycle and eventually may become a form of addiction.
Yes.
Something scary happened to me a couple of days ago.
Which is?
So my wife texted me and said, she told me from the text, your son found you on Spotify.
Okay.
And listened to the pineapple episode.
Alright.
So for those who don't know.
For those who don't know, just go on Spotify, just type in the Two Dogs Pineapple, and you actually hear a narration by Dr. Ali here many years ago. Speaking of what?
Pineapple tarts.
Or just pineapple tarts. Just the texture of the pineapple tart, how it tastes, how it smells like. The packaging.
It's a 4-minute.
It's a 4-minute talk about the packaging of pineapple tarts.
It's explicit laden.
Okay.
It was full of national anthem words.
Okay. So it was full of national anthem words. So as you were coming back to your story, so you said your son heard you on Spotify, and
so my son heard me on Spotify and heard all my national anthem and commented to my wife, Papa's using a lot of bad language. So eventually I had to face him. And that was yesterday. So this morning I had to approach him. I told him, I heard you listen to my pineapple episode. I told him, number one, it was not meant for you. Number two, it's not right for me to say all those words either. It's an expression, but it's not right to use it to someone else.
Yes.
It's like watching a movie. You watch for the entertainment value, doesn't mean you go around using the same language and the same beating up people habits and do it in real life.
Yes.
So I had to really address it to him, and he gave me a very adult smirk, like, I felt so small.
So kids absorb everything around them,
Yes.
especially if it's from their parents.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Because they
yes.
look up to the parents, and whatever their parents are doing, and as you mentioned, they are either on your side or they are totally against it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no middle part,
Yeah,
you know,
there's no
because
middle part.
the way they are growing, there's no middle part.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yes, yes.
Just to share with viewers, this is very interesting movie. If you guys can look it up, it's called Don't Worry, He Won't Get Too Far on Foot.
No, I've never heard of this.
Don't worry, he won't get too far on foot. It's a very underrated movie, but it talks about Alcoholic Anonymous.
Oh, okay.
It stars Joaquin Phoenix, the guy who played the Joker.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix.
It stars Jonah Hill, the fat guy in Wolf of Wall Street
yes,
that
yes,
shrunk.
yes.
So, Joaquin Phoenix character, he was an alcoholic. He was a reporter, and then he lived a life, loves alcohol, and he eventually got an accident, and he lost the function of his legs. He was almost paraplegic, and with his whatever functional arm, he started to draw comics. But his path to sobriety was very difficult. His sponsor was Jonah Hill, a hippie with HIV. Apparently, it's based on a true story.
Okay.
But for those who really want to watch it because it documents the difficulty of an addict.
Yeah.
Exactly what Uncle Omar said about being out of control, hitting rock bottom, and even the process of going to an AA meeting and how he failed so many AA meetings, the amount of tears, frustration, suicide. But you're right, he had one person that was looking after him,
Yes.
his best friend, and he also had a very good sponsor. And
Very
eventually-
important.
Very important. And eventually he did come out of it, and if I'm not mistaken, he goes around still giving talks on
Alcoholism
and
and
coming
addiction.
back, and addiction and coming back. So yeah, so that's something that I'd like to share with all the viewers. Again, you guys can go check it out. It's a very long title. You just type "He Won't Get Too Far on Foot," then plus Joaquin Phoenix or Jonah Hill. You'll find the title.
Okay.
Anything you want to add into our addiction talk today? Before we wrap up?
No, I think Abang Omar has really
Everything.
I've covered everything and more.
Yeah, you have no idea we had all the lists, but
Nah, we never even touched a single question from
he
them.
was looking at it and you were just okay, check.
Nah. So coming back. So let's bring back everything. Let's just recap everything lah.
Yes.
So addiction is not easy to beat. All right.
Yeah.
Addiction is not easy to beat, and
Yes.
it's going to be a struggle lifelong.
When you said addiction means you're doing things against your will.
Yes. So doing things against your will, and you are fighting against it lifelong. There is no
Yes.
cure for it.
Yes,
It's a
there's-
disease. Okay.
it's a disease.
First of all,
Yes.
is to acknowledge that it's a disease. It's not because of that person. It's a disease that's eating up that particular person.
Correct?
Right. And there is no cure for it. But there is a way
Yes.
to stop it from progressing. To stop it
Correct.
from control it, or stopping it from hurting other people.
And not hurting yourself also.
Yes, and not
You
hurting
see,
yourself.
there is a life after addiction. That's why I'm here. If there was no life after addiction, I wouldn't be sitting with you people. I won't be. I'll be coming here for can borrow 10 ringgit.
You'll be outside knocking on the door.
So there's one very interesting thing. Now, the next step is worldwide. They are talking about legalizing marijuana, ganja.
Yes.
Do you feel that ganja or marijuana is a gateway drug to something more, or like what some of the research have shown, people on ganja, they do not proceed to synthetic drugs?
we have spoken this
Yes.
earlier a little bit,
Yes.
you know, that a family stays like a family, not like a unit of house.
Yes.
Now, when you are not happy, today, as I told you, my wife
Yes.
passed away, I didn't pick up anything. If I'm happy, do I have to put in any more anything? Because I don't need it. I'm happy. So when you put anything from outside, you are smart enough and cunning enough, because if you are taking drug and remaining correct, that means you are very smart, you know, and cunning enough that you can play with drugs. But not everybody can do it.
True.
Anything that you have to put in from outside and makes you feel better, it cannot be right, to my opinion. But what happened is, today we are living in an age where money is so important that life has got a smaller value than the money.
itself.
So people are not that happy. They need something to put
make
it
them
in
happy.
to make them happy. So ganja is okay then. Marijuana is okay then.
Medical grade, medical grade.
Medical ganja.
Okay, compared to others,
It's the-
it's slightly better.
Inky is having pain.
Yeah, I'm having pain in my shoulder.
Medical pain of not having enough money. Yeah, but resonating that you know, everyone that you have to manage your stress, have people to talk to, so that
Good
you
friend.
Yeah, good friends. Good friends.
and good friends.
Not
doesn't-
friends, you know, just have
One friend. Good
have a
friend.
good friend, just one.
Non-judgmental.
Non-judgmental.
Yes.
Listen, and then they're not just there to follow you to have a good time and eat, drink, and take selfies. But this one is going to listen, is going to criticize, and but set you on the right path. That kind of friend.
Yes, yes.
Because as what we've heard from Uncle Omar and even Dr. Inky Ray's medical marijuana, at the end of the day, people jump into a lot of this substance as a substitution of something that's missing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not enough sleep, took something to help with the sleep. Want to be accepted, took something to be accepted. Having pain, took in something to substitute the pain. You are not solving it, you're substituting it.
Correct.
That substitute is hence the word substance abuse at the end of it.
Yes.
So be very careful with that. And I think with that, we're going to sign off, but we want to tell you, Uncle Omar, thank you so much.
It's
No,
been a
it was my
From
pleasure.
the
I'm
bottom of my
honored.
heart,
I'm honored.
I love you from the bottom of my heart. You are amazing.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
had an amazing time pre-chatting with you. By the way, fun fact, his last cigarette was
Yes.
thrown outside. He lit it on the floor of Wisma Central.
Wisma
Jalan
Central.
Ahmad.
Jalan
16 January.
1990, 16 January, Friday.
Friday,
Friday.
6:30 p.m. Perfect.
The date, I know the date.
So everyone, thank you very much for watching, tuning in with us. We're at the Two Dogs, and today's topic was on addiction, drug addiction and beyond, hitting rock bottom and coming back up. We have with us Mr. Omar Abdullah, or fondly known as Abang Omar or Uncle Omar, who was the co-founder of Pengasih Malaysia and now
Yes.
a strong advocate for Narcotics Anonymous and Malaysia. And you guys can check it out if you want to get in touch with him. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Okay, hopefully somebody gets the message.
Yeah.